Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's your boy, First Place Gil. Woo, woo. Let's go, Gil, 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 Gil. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, let me get myself situated, doing some, just doing stuff, being me. So, first and foremost, welcome to the Melanated Council. Let me get that banner up. Bam. Right here. Coming to you live on YouTube. I know we're working on getting back to streaming to Twitch and streaming back to Twitter whenever we get that one squared away, but we will be doing that. Hey, I see you. Chad came in a nice, clean second place. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me say that first and foremost. Can y'all hear me okay? Just let me know if you guys can hear me okay. As you can tell, I got my new headset that came in. I'm loving them. Loving them so far. And yeah, I'm just giving them a shot. First time streaming with them, at least from there. I know I got to work out the kinks where the microphone to my headset is not necessarily connecting, but I'm okay. All right. Cool. Ha, 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 yeah. So who's going to come in that clean third then? Who's going to come in that clean third? Yes. Man, I've been good. As y'all could tell, like, my voice, I kind of lost it. So over the weekend, took my youngest kid to Michigan Adventures. It's a theme park that's a part of the Cedar Point Cedar Fair umbrella, which they merged earlier this month. So Six Flags Cedar Point, they're now under one company, they're under one umbrella. So took him and a bunch of kids from the church, and we went to Michigan Adventures. Had a blast, and was riding on roller coasters. And if y'all don't know me, I gotta get on the roller coasters. I don't care how big, how scary it might be. I gotta ride it at least once. So we did that, and mind you, it wasn't like the warmest day to go to Michigan Adventures. It was pretty cold. It was kind of like high 60s, low 70s, like 71, 72. And like the whole day it was cloudy. Yeah, the sun peeked out here and there, but as soon as the sun peeked out, it warmed up a little bit. Clouds came in and the wind blew, and it just made it that much colder. So had to suffer through that. It started raining a little bit, but nothing too serious. Just kind of a little spit here and there. But other than that, like, we had a good time. And again, lost my voice. Well, tried to lose my voice. So it's a little raspy, but it is what it is, right? It's all for the kids, right? At the end of the day, it's all for the kids. So did that, and then this week, as of right now, I'm going back to coaching Rocket football again. This is season number 3. So third season. I'm loving it. Got 2 of the coaches that I coached with last year. We're all coaches again. No, your boy's not the head coach. I'm assistant. But we're going to figure out, like, of course, the head coach is going to be the head coach. Me and the other assistant, we're going to rock, paper, scissors out to see who's going to kind of help run the offense and who's going to kind of help run the defense. But we're going to all, between the 3 of us, we're all going to work this out together. We got some good kids. A lot of these kids that came back, I either had them my first year coaching or my second year coaching, which is phenomenal. And even then, we had some. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into it too. Because there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, snaps! I done moved my camera. Whoopsies. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the political world. We're going to get on that. We're going to touch base on it because there's a lot going on. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. And so we're going to dive into it a little bit and just kind of get back to the roots to what this channel is pretty much built upon. We kind of strayed away from the politics because it was politicking, but now we're kind of back in this season where it's like, we got to come back to it again because, yeah, it's Gridiron Sign. You already know you already know what it is, Rocky. What's going on? It's good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Yes, it is the Gridiron time, the Gridiron gang, and like I said, we got a good group of kids. We got a good. Yep, Rocky did come in third. Rocky came in third. So typically, Rocky, I think you get the treasure chest, but then some people would have said, nah, the third person gets the hairy chest. So I'm gonna let y'all figure out what Rocky really gets because he came in third. So I'm gonna let y'all figure that one out. But yeah, so like I said, we got a good group of kids. Some of them, this is like their third, fourth season playing. Some of them, it's their first time playing. We got a couple of them. I had my first year coaching, so they didn't come back last year, but they came back this year. And we're going to have a blast. I think we got a good group. We don't have a whole lot of big kids, but we got a lot of fast kids. Like, we have a lot of fast kids. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this season is going to play out. Really is. But I know before we dive into the topic, again, want to slingshot it back to you guys. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Do what you do. Do what you do, Rocky. So, again, typically what we do like a little mental health check-in just to check in with you guys because I get it. By two compadres, even though they're not here yet, but they will be showing up soon. But the one thing I was going to say is this much too. We try to check in on each other as much as we possibly can because we get it. Life be lifing, life been busy, but we still want to pretty much open up the table to you guys. How you guys been doing? How's your guys' weekend? What you guys do? All that other good stuff. Because again, without you guys being here, we would not be here. And even if nobody showed up and it was just, me, El, and Toby talking, that's fine. Because eventually somebody gonna show up and say hi, something. So what did you guys do over the weekend? How you guys doing? And I know one thing this year, I have not kept up with the Olympics. That's a first for me. That is a huge first. That is a huge first. And especially since I've grown accustomed to watching the World Cup. Love watching the World Cup. Love watching the greatest soccer team, soccer players go at it. Haven't been keeping up with that. Like I said, the Olympics, haven't keeping up with the Olympics this year and everything else. Ooh, that's not good. That sucks. That sucks. That sucks. Hopefully you didn't pay them before. Hopefully you didn't pay them before because if you did, yikes. But if you didn't, hey, at least you saved you some money. At least you saved yourself some money. So we can say that. Let's see. Chad, I get it. I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I paid for Paramount Plus, and the only reason why I got I'll be selfish, okay? The only reason why I actually got Paramount Plus was to watch Halo. That's it. That's the only reason why I got Paramount Plus was to watch Halo. Other than that, I don't care about anything else that Paramount Plus has, unless it's like a good movie or a good TV show that I grew up watching. I might, but yeah, I know. I'm telling you, like it's weird. It's so weird, you know. And a lot of people's like, yeah, you know, the United States what gold, and I'm like, well, I mean, they got a good team. They got a good solid team, a good solid roster, and believe it or not, a lot of these guys they probably would have played very well if they were on the same team. But you know, because the league won't have that whatsoever, you know, they got to play on separate teams. But it just goes to show that they do play well. So I'm happy for them. Super happy for that. Yes. I mean, you got to do it solo. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes. I mean, I don't think so. They had some weird stuff going on from what I've been told. So I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it because you know me, I tell you, hey, get your tinfoil hats on. But yeah, so cool. Everybody's getting here. Everybody's getting warmed up. So um, before we dive in, I gotta bring in, you know, I gotta bring in, I gotta bring this person in because yeah, and speaking of the American females, yes, oh yeah, they've been doing their thing. I ain't gonna front, they've been doing their thing. However, this next person who I'm gonna bring to the stage, she's been doing her thing too, whether y'all want to believe it or not. She has placed first, second, third in whatever event you want to place her in. Guarantee she's gonna take first somehow, some way. I don't know how, but she is. She's gonna take first place somehow, some way. Going to take first place somehow, some way. And when she do, she gonna turn around and get your second place and your third place medal. She's like, give me that. Y'all don't deserve that anyway. Y'all in my league. Get out of my league. Y'all ain't supposed to be in my league. And she gonna tell y'all respectfully to get out. She might throw you out. She might throw you out. She might kick you out. But at least when she does, she's gonna say, like, you know, on second thought, you are kind of cool, so you might be able to come back. Emphasis, you might be able to come back and just, you know, practice a lot more. Who knows? But she's gonna do it in a very loving ish way. Because why not? She's a jokester. I love her. I love her personality. I love everything about her. And if it would not be for her, we would not still be here doing this thing because, I mean, why not? Right? So if y'all don't, yeah, listen. Okay, Chad, listen. This intro, it's off the top of the dome. If y'all haven't caught on yet, like my intros, I don't write nothing down. It's clearly off the top of the dome. And yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. So without further ado, this next person who I'm gonna bring to the stage is the one, the only L. Woo, woo,
Woo!
woo.
Yeah, USA, USA,
USA.
USA.
Matter of fact, hold on. USL, USL,
Yeah.
USL.
Oh, thank you so much, Ron. Oh man.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, no, I love your intros. Oh man. No, it really puts a feather in my cap. It
There
it
you
really
go.
does.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Chat's very chatty, which I love. Never
Yes.
say chatty is a bad thing. Not here. It's not. No, it's always good to chat it up. Yeah,
Yes.
I haven't really been paying attention to the Olympics either. I saw that Gil mention that. Like, I don't really know why I haven't actually. I guess because it's on like regular network television, and even though I actually do have it, I do have a cable box, which was like free through my association. I just never use it. So yeah, I could have easily been watching the Olympics. I even have Peacock. Um,
Mm.
through Comcast. So I really had no excuse not to watch it. I don't know. I watched a little bit of it on like Saturday night because I should have mentioned this in the Discord chat, but like my boyfriend and I went to St. Augustine, which is in North Florida, over the weekend. It's like a nice little getaway. It was it was technically for our 1 year anniversary, even though our 1 year was in February. So I guess it was like
Mm.
our 1.5 year, but with life and everything and, trying to like sit down and try to plan something, we actually finally got around to it and drove up to St. Augustine and just spent a couple of, spent, like just like the weekend there. It was really nice. So while we were in the hotel, he put on the Olympics because he loves sports. So seeing multiple sports at the same time was just, it is his jam. For me, it was fun. He also even had it on his phone too. So he
Okay.
he was just sporting it up.
Mhm.
Eh, Like when we were, of course, walking around and looking at the sights, he was, of course, paying attention. But when we were just back in the hotel, it was sports, which was pretty fun though, because we watched some of like, what did we watch? We watched some of like the track. We watched some track.
Mhm.
Um, Jamaica did horrendously. I don't
Really?
know. Yeah, like I think there was only one competition that I know of, possibly more. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. But yeah, Jamaica was just been doing horrendous. Jamaica did horrendously this year. Like it's almost embarrassing because I guess Usain Bolt stops competing. I guess I think he retired more than likely. And Jamaica was just like, oh well, oh well.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was like there'd be moments when like in the relay, they'd be doing well, and then I guess one person would just like injure themselves, I guess, and then just the whole relay was just, yeah, they would just stop running. It was like, this is crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, like it was it was very weird. But I don't know, some years are just like that. Hopefully, next time we'll start we'll kick some ass, but it was very heartbreaking because usually I'm like whatever about USA. So it was weird to like root for USA because usually I'm always just like Jamaica first and then maybe like other Caribbean countries and
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
USA,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to track. I'm happy that St. Lucia like won the gold. Julian Alfred, she ran like, so she was the first person in her country to win a medal. I don't think
Mm.
St. Lucia ever won a medal, and so like the fact that she was the first person to come home with a medal and it was a gold medal for, you know, was incredible. So I'm very happy for St. Lucia.
Mhm.
And trying to think if there was any other countries that I know that there were a lot of firsts, which was exciting. There were like a lot of countries that like finally like won a medal, so that was really really cool. There was a lot of like funny stuff that happened. But I guess it's interesting like to see other countries. It's like, okay, other countries do exist. Fine.
Yes.
But it was, yeah, no, the USA like did phenomenally in track, which is crazy. Usually, of course, like USA is usually like second place or very high up there. But the fact that they just kept winning was like, wow. I always root for specific athletes. Like I was rooting for Shakari, Sydney, Simone, LeBron stuff. Yeah. I do too a bit, but I guess like I mainly just root for Jamaica.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. It's weird to root for for the US. First of all, I know that we dominate in like everything. So like, and I know that we're just a very sports centered country. It was interesting, like basketball, I believe, was founded in the US. And it's cool that like all these countries all over the world play it. Pretty sure baseball was too. I don't know if there was like a baseball Olympic game actually. I feel like there should be. I don't remember hearing, but like breakdancing, it was their first year. I think with breakdancing and rock climbing, it was their first years.
Yeah.
But breakdancing was really, really cool. Except for Australia. Woman who, I don't know, clearly never breakdanced in her life. It was just sad. I'm just imagining you saying Jamaica and me no. So Gordy Chad. Never. Technically, didn't we place in 71st place overall? US or where are you thinking of? What are you talking like? Where are you talking about, Gil? We'll return next Olympics. Oh, please don't tell me that's true about breakdancing. Because breaking it was good though. Like just wow, Australia out here killing everything.
Literally, but
like damn it, Australia, really? That's so. Oh my gosh! Because like there were a lot of breakers, that were really like there were a lot of B boys and B girls that were really good. I saw mainly the B girls. I don't think I saw any of the B boys though. But the B girls that I saw were really good, except for Australia.
Yeah, no.
The U.S. gold medals, 71st place overall. Really? Like, I mean, I guess when it comes to like all of the games in the Olympics, because we're only watching like U.S. and I guess like what sports that we dominate in the U.S. So yeah, I guess we're like very biased. So that's possible that we placed 71st place overall, because there might have not been any like like even though the U.S. may have competed in like those other sports like handball and like I don't know, like other things I can't quite remember. Just like those, I guess it's bad to say like smaller games, but I guess just the ones that we don't know about. Then yeah, we probably did win 71st overall. I know that we won in fencing for the first time, and it was a black woman who won too.
Nice.
So that was really cool. I don't think we've ever bringing back baseball, softball, and we'll introduce flag football. Okay, flag football, that's pretty cool. It was tied for first place with China. Yeah, that's what I think too, Rocky. Yeah, I think it's U.S. and China is, I guess, overall in terms of most countries with gold medals. But if it was like this year with gold medals, I don't know. They won the major sports. People forget there's like 10,000. Yeah, and there's like 10,000 sports. Maybe not 10. There's probably about 1,000. Like there's just a crazy amount of sports. Like I was at a bar the other day, and they were playing, like, they're just, showing the Olympics, and me and my friend were trying to make heads or tails out of what game they were playing, because it didn't say, like, I wish I had like the name of the sport that they're playing, like, somewhere.
That'd be yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't even have to show up the whole time, just like maybe show up every like 10 minutes. Just tell me what the sport is. Not
Mhm.
everybody knows. Not everybody. Like, I think it was handball. It looked like people were throwing a ball. There was like some nets that kind of look like soccer nets, or like soccer goals, or like hockey goals, I mean.
Mm.
And I don't know. Like, it was just very weird. It was like a small ball. So I don't like it. They might have been playing handball. I don't know how to play handball, but it's in the Olympics. We won an FOIL. What's FOIL? I can't remember when the Olympics come around. That's true.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. The cameraman, especially when they be chasing down the folks in the 100-meter dash,
Mhm.
yes, they be flying.
Oh, there was, in track and field, there's like, I guess it's the javelin. No, the javelin's when you throw it. It's the one where, like, is it the high jump where you get the stick and then you go over the thing?
A pole vault.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was a guy who did incredibly well until he was coming down and his junk hit the pole and it bounced off and he was disqualified. So he must have been like in massive pain because his face was like, ah. But it's like, I mean, it's unfortunate that he was disqualified though. Nisha instead of actual, because the actual winning play. I heard Pakistan won in the javelin. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
I'll see if I can find the replay of the guy with his unfortunate accident.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like he should have like got a redo, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, you should account for that at the same time as an athlete. It's like, yeah, you should know the distance between.
Yeah.
Pop the balloon.
Cool. I,
I keep
I mean,
seeing those. Oh, go on, Ron.
I was like, I'll say, I mean, maybe kind of cringe, but I get it. I get it. Get a thumbtack and pop, 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 pop in like what, a minute and a half? See how many balloons you can pop?
Pop the balloon is this, I guess, this new dating series, this new dating show. I don't know where it's located. I guess it's online. I don't know if it's like on like a free streaming service like Tubi or something. I don't know. I don't know where this pop the balloon thing is, but it's like a woman comes out. Yeah, it's essentially speed dating. Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay. So like a woman comes out and there's like, I don't know, like 10 men, and she comes out and the host asks her questions, and if the guys like what she's saying, they don't pop the balloon. If they like if they like what she's saying, they don't pop the balloon. If they don't like what she's saying, they pop their balloon. And then the host asks, "Why did you pop your balloon?" And then he explains, and it's usually something stupid. And like, "Oh, she's too tall," or "She looks like the
What?
shoes she's wearing is too small," or it's like, or "She looks like she's too fit." In most countries, when people win the World Cup, they become basically untouchable in their home country. I wonder what happens too, Rocky. Like, I think, like, especially for like someone like maybe like Julie and Alfred from St. Lucia, I feel like, when you visit St. Lucia, it'll probably be like home to Olympic gold medalist Julie and Alfred. Please, no more balloons yet. I keep seeing clips of the balloon popping online, but I've never actually seen the show. It just seems like it just seems toxic, just like how I described it. It's not just a woman comes out and it's men. It's sometimes it's a man comes out and it's like 10 women. You want more?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That seems like it'll go bad south very fast. Just like how breakdancing, it was a good cause until some country had to screw it up. It only takes one. It only takes
Yeah.
one. It only takes one.
Yeah, that's what we learned. I mean, it's true. Mucho más.
Gil, you play too much.
It's my guilty pleasure to see how crazy people are. Oh man. Yeah, no, people be crazy.
That is true. That is so true. Like they will go to extreme lengths to get what they want, for lack of better words, and I don't know, that kills me. Like pop a balloon if a woman is too fit or she's too tall. Like y'all must have not been outside touching grass at all, because me personally, I like climbing me some trees. I'm just saying. As a kid, I would try to see how high I could climb a tree without getting, one, super scared, or two, without hearing the cracks of the branches. Like if those two did not happen, oh, I'm good. I'm climbing. I am climbing.
Yeah, I think most men are okay with dating a woman that's taller than them. It's usually women who aren't. Not every woman. I would be totally fine dating a guy who's shorter than me. But it's just that I guess they don't really go for women that are taller than them because of that, which is unfortunate. And these are 30 to they're 30 to 40-year-olds, really?
What?
I thought these were like
Oh,
people in their 20s. Oh my god. They look
oh
great
my
for their age
gosh.
though. From like just the
Yeah.
clips that I remember seeing.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, and Gil is pretty tall too. Like I think he's probably about as tall as you, Ron. I think like 5'10", 5'11".
Somewhere around there. That works. All
Yeah.
right. That works. Yeah, even though to most women, that's like, yeah, that's not tall enough. I need you to be like 6'5". Like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're in Michigan. And I remember when I went up to Michigan, I was still single and I looked at the dating apps and like a lot of the men there are very tall. In South Florida, like 5'10" is considered like tall. I don't
Yeah.
I don't really know why. It just is. We're a gorgeous population, but we just kind of run a little short. No, there's the balloon and a knockoff. Wait, there's the good pop the balloon and a knock. There's a good pop the balloon? I didn't know there was a good pop the balloon. 5'12.5", so 6.5 feet.
Why do I hear this? Why do I hear this?
I'm about to make a name for myself here. Oh, Gambit. I'm
Gotta love
cringing.
you.
I didn't know there was. Maybe that's the ones that I've been seeing clips online every so often. Probably younger people. I didn't know that they were like older people. But even the good pop the balloon is still shows you how crazy people are. The people who are in their 30s and 40s. I mean, it's not surprising, but like, it's just disappointing.
Oh man, that's hilarious. 30 and 40-year-olds. Oh man.
That's. I mean, I'm glad that there's a dating show that's for like older people. Though I've always wanted that, but I guess I've always wanted something like I don't know, like Too Hot to Handle, or like those ones that are on like Netflix that are trashy, but it's usually like younger people
Hmm.
in their 20s. It's like, no, like 30 and 40-year-olds can still be crazy and still be hot. And it'll just be kind of nice to see.
Hmm.
I wouldn't
Hmm.
mind seeing some like hot 40-year-old dudes and women too.
That's funny. But you know
Yeah.
what? You know what? You actually do bring up a very good valid point. A very good valid point.
Hmm.
Because with the way how society is going in a nutshell, where a lot of people they're more so waiting to get married
Hmm.
and all other good stuff because I mean it's expensive. Of course, single is expensive, but if you got a nice paying job, you know, you could suffice. But now you get another person involved, and it's like, well, if my expenses were normally like 2,500 a month, and I was fine with that, and that kind of like doubles to like 5,000, like, it's gonna be a little bit much. It's gonna be a bit much. But again, you know, they're and again professionals living their best life, really, just really just out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I get it, Gil. I get it. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So and it's weird. Okay, now I want to say it's weird. No, I take that back. Yes, it is weird. We're gonna call it weird. Okay, it's just weird. Like, okay, why in the world are you going to sit up and have these unrealistic expectations that even if you yourself can't even match that same energy? Like, why? What for? What's the reason? If
Both
I
of them.
know both of them, like, stop. Like, listen, as long as you can, like, treat me good and I don't know, like sports or like video games or like anime or like comic books or like talking about politics every so often, uh, like cars. If you don't like cars, like you have some kind of hobby that is your own, that is unique, that is yours. Okay, cool, great. If you like to go out, maybe not all the time, but like, every so often, cool, great. If, you know, you having a good time is like kicking it at home in pajamas all day and we just binge watch on whatever, cool, great. I will accept you for that. Awesome. No hard feelings. But when you talking about, oh, I'm gonna need you to have an 800 credit score, and I'm gonna need you to drive the latest model car and have perfect white teeth, and you already have like a 50. No, like, a really nice house. Like, what? Like, do you have a nice house? Do you have an 800 credit score? Do you drive the latest model car? Matter of fact, is your car payment up to date? Like, let's talk about that. Is your car payment up to date? Do you have insurance on your car? Like, let's be real. Like, come on now. Like, miss me with that. Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. Do you own your own car? Let's go there. Now I ain't saying don't get me wrong. The folks who got a car payment, I get it. You got to get it how you live.
For sure.
I had to have one too. You get it how you live. You get it how you live. But at the same time, you know, especially if it's a car that you like and you want to keep it forever, absolutely. Car payment, absolutely. Yes, I will. I'm all for it. All for it. But for the other jokers, nah. The door's that way. I'm good.
Sorry.
Yes.
Gil's comment is funny. I haven't told you guys this yet, but like for my birthday last week, my boyfriend got me some linen sheets and he got me a circular saw because I've been telling him that I want to start like building, like shelves because I'm tired of shelves costing so much. And I'm like, I don't think it would be too difficult. Also, he has some really handy friends, and he himself is handy. Like, when I say handy, like his friends are like architects, and like they've built things before, and like fix their own cars. As like decent as much as like you can without a shop, sort of thing.
Right.
And
right.
yeah, so like they're handy. They're handy individuals. Like my boyfriend replaced my brakes and rotors like 2 weeks ago because we were gearing up to drive up to St. Augustine because I like his car. It's just kind of a toy car. It's a great car. It's a Fiat 500. It's a great car. It's also just a very tiny car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm leaving him alone. I ain't gonna say nothing bad about it. I ain't gonna say nothing. That's your boyfriend. Yeah. I ain't gonna do him like that.
I feel bad because like I really like I do genuinely like the car. It is a nice car. It's just like I don't know, for like a long drive. I just when we got like stuff. Yeah.
In other words, they'll say, "Nah, I need leg room."
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's it. And my boyfriend is 6'3", so it's like wouldn't he want leg room too? I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm excited about using it. It's just, like I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't like I don't have fantasies of building things. Like I go on Facebook Marketplace and I see like whole like toolkits that people are selling, and I'm like, So it's like, all right, this is a start. So I already bought a drill because I need to hang up some stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Thanks, Joe Rogan. Yeah. Hammers and drills and circulars build tables, not manifest. That's true. That's true. That's a good point. Like that was going to be a guy.
Right.
When I upload videos. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, like doing the thing is hard. I did finally release a new episode of my podcast, The Agreeable Gray Area. You can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts, except YouTube for now. I gotta do that because Google's been bothering me saying you gotta move your podcast from Google Podcasts to YouTube. We're gonna take it away at the end of the month, so I gotta go do that. But
okay.
But it's true that like oddly enough, this whole like Kamala Harris thing that's still kind of going on and people are like learning about her more, and it really is it's gonna sound like a no doy moment, but it's really just like because she's just been putting essentially content out there, just doing interviews, going to places, doing things.
Hmm.
And now that she's the Democratic nominee, um, it's like people are learning a whole bunch about her, and even like, from like way before when she was like a senator and things like that. And it's just like, oh wow, there's all this stuff about her, when like it's just because she just keeps doing things. And like when you keep doing things and you record things and you put things out there, then no one can say, I mean, there's always going to be people who say you're not doing anything, but it's going to become less and less, because people will be like, well, there's this whole thing here, well, there's this thing here, there's that thing
Hmm.
over there. So the trick is to just keep doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I had to stop because I had to watch a live stream.
Hey, hopefully that live stream is good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not working with you, then. Yeah, like, um, there's like, when it comes to, um, like starting something new or starting something that you're, I guess, like afraid to do. I always say like the whole "do it scared" thing. Um, we oftentimes, instead of actually doing the thing, we kind of like skirt around the thing. So instead of actually like putting out a really crappy podcast episode, you watch 20 videos on how to make a podcast, how to record a podcast. Like sign up for like how to, like classes, courses, you buy the books, you buy all the things, you follow all sorts of different people, but you don't feel like you're ever ready because there's always going to be something. And it's always going to like stop you, when in reality, there really isn't anything stopping you. People are so dumb in a cute way. It like, like look at us, like, there were times when, you could look back, like, I didn't have a microphone. I was just talking straight into the laptop, into the camera. This is Gil's camera that I'm using. It's not mine. I didn't go out and buy a camera. There's ways of doing things. I mean, like, if you go back just a month, I'm using my laptop's webcam. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. We've had episodes where we use our cell phones.
Mm. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but the show must go on,
This is true. Oh,
So,
man, this is so true.
so if you think that whatever it is that you need to, produce out there, and I'm saying this to myself too, because I'm guilty of this. I can't just out here speak all high and mighty because you know, put out an episode 4 months later after my last one, like I'm no better. But it's just like, if you feel like you need XYZ thing to start something, look around to see if you have anything remotely similar. I understand, like my boyfriend and I were talking about this recently, about um like what things, like barriers of entry, or yeah, I guess the barriers of entry, barriers to entry, I don't know. So like, let's say, the barriers to entry for soccer are very, very low. You just need like a field and a ball. You can easily make goals out of things. You can be like, all right, this mouse is a goal and this glass is a goal on the other side. You just have to or I don't know, like a speaker or something. And if you kick past it, you get the goal. And yeah, so that's a very low barrier of entry to do soccer. But to do something like tennis, you need specific equipment. You need at least three things. You need two tennis rackets and a tennis ball. And because you need to play with somebody and that person needs a racket, they can't just like use their hand. You might be able to use like a paddle ball, like from like or something, but that's just a little bit higher of a barrier of entry, hence why like it's possible why tennis is usually in more expensive areas or more like wealthier neighborhoods and things like that. Golf is another example because you need a lot of different like golf clubs and you need access to a golf course, which may not be much, but Boca 16 how 2.8 would look. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But this is just how you set it up. I didn't do anything. It's just whatever you had it on last. This is what we can't use their hand skill issue.
Exactly, Chad. Skill issue.
But yeah, long story short, just see what you have already and just start.
Yes, I agree. I will second that motion.
Mm.
And especially when I was doing streaming the video games or whatnot, like a lot of people said, like, what kind of camera are you using? What kind of software are you using? This and the third. I'm like, I'm just using my PlayStation 4 camera. I got a blue screen that I bought, and I'm sitting in my chair in the living room, and that's it. Like, I'm not using anything fancy, and even then, like, I had a different headset that I was using to kind of talk into, and that was it. They're like, that's it. Like, yes. Like, I don't necessarily have like a office area where I can do a lot more. Would that be nice? Absolutely. But until I get a bigger place that I can actually do that in, and yes, consistency. Consistency is key. Until I get a bigger place I can do that in, I can do a little bit more. But until then, no, I'm good with what I got. And
Mm-hmm.
so it just I pretty much told people like, listen, like don't worry about if you need like the fancy stuff. Like nobody cares. Like as long as you are interacting with the community that you're trying to build up and interacting with the people who are coming in, you make them feel welcome and all the other good stuff, it's going to build itself. And they're going to see a lot of the ups and the downs, and more than likely, they're going to help you to get what you're looking for by investing in your channel. And as long as you keep producing the content, as long as you keep, showing up, as long as you're consistent, they're going to be consistent with you. And you know, they're like good advice. And I've seen some people just take off and like go for it. I'm happy that you're where you're supposed to be. I'm happy that you're able to go to TwitchCon, to DreamCon, all this other good stuff. And even if it's just me just showing up and typing a few messages here and there, and then I just say, hey, I gotta go to work, I gotta go to this or I gotta go to that. So I'm going to work and give you that channel views and everything else. And I watched all the ads because I get it. Those ad revenues, it adds up. Yes, like there's a lot of little small stuff that goes in between, but whatever helps, it helps. And just keep going. And even if you only get one person that's watching, then that's the one person. You entertain that one person and let it go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's how we started. Like there were like several episodes where we were just felt like we were just talking to Mish. And
Hmm.
it was just you, me, Toby, and Mish. Just
Yep.
just, just chopping it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Yes. And even then, like I said, Beach will always forever be the number one mod on Twitch. I don't care what nobody says. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
Twitch, y'all may have your mods, but y'all mods is not like Mish. Like Mish does math on stream.
Mm-hmm.
What streamer does math on stream?
Right. Yeah.
And then turns around and plays um, the old school Metroid games. What?
Right.
What?
You know, like
I
they were
love that.
they were streaming the other day, and I wanted to watch it. Man, I gotta watch them because I,
Yes.
that sounds like so much fun. As crazy as that sounds, like just doing math, like that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah.
Yes. No, and even then, they like to do little small advertisements, and especially when it comes to your daily salt intake. Yes, they do a very good job at advertising salt. Salt is very important to you.
Right? Yeah.
Gotta love salt. Like that, my blood pressure, me and salt, we don't get along, so I can't do salt, Mish. I'm sorry. My doctor said I can't. Nope. I cannot do salt. Mm-mm. No.
Mm.
Like, well, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I don't know what to tell myself either. I'm just screwed.
Mm. So I did want to circle back to the whole when Gil was talking about the balloon popping about
Hmm.
the 30 and 40-year olds who are it's good to see like older good looking people, and I think um Donald Trump would agree with the older good looking woman and who is our Democratic nominee.
So, oh, I read that article. Go on.
Like I was reading up on like there was this guy who commented on Reddit saying like he can translate older white guys, like old crazy white men. And I guess he was saying that what Trump was trying to to say is that the time made the drawing look made like the drawing made Kamala look, I guess, prettier than she actually is, and that they were trying to make her look like Melania. I don't know. I guess that's how he was that's how this guy was apparently translating it. It did not come off like that. It really just it really just kind of came off like he finds her pretty, finds Kamala Harris pretty, and it's like that's that's so weird.
It is. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I would
I read.
not know what to do. Yes. I would just die laughing if that was happened to me.
Right. I mean, I was reading the article and I'm sitting here, I'm like, what? Trump, you said what? And then I looked at the Time magazine. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's not a bad drawing, but at the same time, like I don't see how the resemblance of Melania and I don't see it. Trump, like I don't I don't get it. I don't see it at all. I'm like, you know what? It's Trump being Trump. Like let this man be old and senile and weird and be that old weird grandpa uncle that just says the most outlandish stuff, but you have to let him pass because it's like, okay, he's old and he's senile and he's crazy. Well, why is he not in a crazy house? Well,
Right.
because he has a lot of money.
That's
How?
not a good enough reason.
No, it's not. Oh,
This-
speak. Speaking about money, I'm gonna touch back on that one later.
I mean, what I love about I think we were talking about this in the last episode too, about I just love how like how weird seems to be what's really getting the conservative and the Republican Party. Like I would have
Hmm.
never guessed in a million years that like weird. Like I could understand like strange because I feel like strange is just like I don't know, like it's just I feel like it's just more of a harsher thing than weird to me. And like strange sounds like okay, this person like that's strange. That's you know abnormal. That's odd. But like weird, I don't know. I guess that's what's really upsetting them.
Oh, because they are like, oh my gosh. Okay, all right. So we have to go back. Let's see. This is 2024, so we kind of have to go back like, mm, let's go back like 10 years. No, let's go back 14 years. Let's go back
Okay.
14 years. So like 2010. Okay, this is when I want to say Obama, he won his first term or second term. Second term.
Wait,
Is it
2010. This was Obama's first term.
okay? So we already got a hint that the Republican Party was starting to get weird as it is, anyways, right? Saying that, oh, Obama, he can't be president because he wasn't a, yes, the rise of the Tea Party. Yes. So that by itself, if that didn't sound the alarm, I don't know what would. But he was they were saying that oh he can't be president because he was born outside of the United States. Oh, he can't be president because he had a fake birth certificate. All these weird, outlandish stuff, and
Mhm.
people were buying it, and it was like, really, like,
Hmm.
are y'all really trying to discredit this man? And so when the 20 12 election happened, that's when he went against Mitt Romney. And again, yes, he did pump that garbage. So, you know, I was like, you know what? If Obama lost to Mitt, I would be okay under a Mitt Romney presidency. I'll be
Me
fine
too. Me too.
because Mitt, he wasn't weird. He was actually sane in comparison to his Republican counterparts for the majority of them. Okay, whatever. It would have been fine. Would have been cool. Would have been great. 2016 rolls around. We got Trump, and now I'm like, does this not make sense to nobody? Like, he already told us way back when what he was going to do in order for him to win presidency, and
Mhm.
it legitimately happened the way how he said he would, because he knew that the Republicans would believe literally just about anything that sounded good, that remotely aligns with what their platform was. Doesn't care how crazy it may sound, if it lines up what they want, they're going for it. Because they don't ask questions that much. They just be like, you know what, this sounds good, let's do it. Or they may dig their feet in, like, well, let me wait about it. Let me think about it. Let me sleep on it. But it's like, does none of this sound alarming to you? Does none of this be like, hey, wait, we got to look at this a little bit more?
Mhm.
And again, it was just weird. Like, why are you guys not seeing red flags when everybody else is saying, hey, y'all need to reevaluate this because this ain't it. This ain't it.
But that
Yes.
was how they were getting more people into like to vote for a Republican and be in the Republican Party, though. I mean, I wouldn't even say be part of the Republican. I mean, I guess that's how we got like Marjorie Taylor Greene and like Lauren Boebert. But like in terms of, I feel like they were just doing that for the voters, which was, of course, like I don't know, was it like just out of desperation? Because I don't feel like, and correct me if I'm
Mhm.
wrong, of course, I don't feel like Democrats have ever really like done that, have gone like that crazy. Some people could, I guess, argue like, what's it called, like Bernie Sanders wanting, federal jobs guaranteed as something like crazy. Even Andrew Yang's universal basic income as like just like insanity. But I don't know, like I guess it was just the sheer just saying whatever off the cuff of like the Republican Party, which was just like very, 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 very strange.
Yes. Yes. No. No. And on one side, no, you're not wrong, because I mean, again, the majority of the people, especially in my little small town of Three Rivers, you know, they really crave on the fear side of politics, and it's like, well, can't you at least like just stop and think for a moment and actually think a lot of this stuff through? At what point in time does any of the policies make sense? Don't say, well, but like, no, just think about what I'm saying. Like, what part of any of these policies makes sense? Number one. And number two, how do you how do you think these policies are going to play out in your current everyday life? Like, just pause and think about that for a minute. And it's so hard for them to do that because it's like they don't want to give in, because logically it's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but I know if I say I get where you're coming from, and I know if I say I agree to it, then that makes me a a believer that what you're saying is absolutely true,
Like
which could be
complicit.
right. And so it's like, I can't say I can't agree with you, but at the same time, I can't necessarily disagree with you,
Hmm.
because I know by me disagreeing, I know I'm actually lying to myself. I'm like, well, yeah, help, because you not saying anything doesn't help the problem. You ignoring everything doesn't help the problem. But then again, at the same time, it's like, if you want to help the problem, you have to identify like, we have a legit problem and we need to solve it. That's
Hmm.
it. That's it. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
it is. It is. Like pretty cool that like the states that I guess like Trump won in 2016 like seem to be leaning more towards Democrat though.
Hmm.
And it is also just pretty cool to see how states that I never thought would flip blue, like Georgia back in 2020, like now Georgia became a swing state, something I didn't ever think would happen. It was
Hmm.
just never it was just never really spoken about. I mean, I guess because I don't live in Georgia, I don't know, because I'm sure like people who live in Georgia, like their Georgia algorithms on Threads, Twitter, Facebook, what have you, TikTok, like I'm sure it's a lot different. Like I have, like Florida algorithms everywhere is saying like Florida is going to flip blue. I don't, of course, I have more of a left leaning algorithms. So, but I'm not. I don't know. We have both abortion and marijuana on the ballot this year, along with voting for Harris or Trump. So it's going to bring a lot of people out to the polls for sure because when I was in St. Augustine over the weekend, it's a very red Republican area, but there was a lot of signs that said vote yes on 3, which is the marijuana amendment. So they were saying, vote yes to legalize recreational marijuana because medical marijuana has been legal since 2016 or 2018. It's been legal for a while now. So, of course, after medical goes recreational. We tried to get recreational marijuana passed before, but it didn't. But because you have to get 60%, and I think it just fell a little bit short. The same thing with abortion. Abortion has to get past 60%, and abortion is Amendment 4. So vote yes on 4 for those of you in Florida. So they're saying that Florida is in play again. The only downside, which who knows at this point, is that since ever there's been more Democrats than Republicans registered into the state of Florida, but right now, and I think since 2020 or 2022, I can't really remember, there's been more Republicans than Democrats. Right now there's 1 million registered Republicans than Democrats. However, Florida has been doing a lot of voter purge. So I heard it's like 800,000 people have been purged, like people who don't vote often, or even people who do. Like 2 of my friends, like they're married, they're a couple, like they vote very consistently in primaries and everything, and they were removed, so they had to re-register. So this is a real thing.
That's wild.
Yeah. So you hear all these comments and things like that, but it's like I don't know if it's actually 800,000 people. I don't know if they're really doing the whole purge thing, and it's mostly Dems. I don't know. But my 2 friends are registered Democrats. They do vote even in primaries. They are very consistent voters. So yeah, just check your registration. Tell everyone who you know to check their registration. If they're like, yeah, I'm registered, just say, hey, takes only a second to check. So what Republicans want to do, right? Especially with a super majority in the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court in the state. No, of course not. Yeah, it's true. You would think it would be nice. It would be really nice if every state did this. It'd also be really nice if every state did online voter registration. I heard, I'm not sure how 100% true this is, but I heard that in Texas, people think they can sign up online, they can register online to vote because they fill out a form and it hits submit. However, the submit is to make you print out the form, so you sign it and then turn it in somewhere. So that's just a whole other extra step.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's Texas. In Florida, you can register online. I looked up a YouTube video to make sure, and this person was able to register online. You can also check to see if you are still registered online. If it says your status is inactive, then you are not registered and you have to re-register. You might have to update some information or what have you. So if you've recently moved, if you know someone who's recently moved, and by recently I mean within the last 4 years, then have them update it. Even if they haven't, just check it. They literally just want your first, the last name, and birthday to check. It's not a whole bunch of information.
Yeah,
I can
and
share.
even
Oh, sorry.
I was saying, and even then, I do know some states you can have like a ballot initiative on the ballot that says that you could do same day registration. And so, as soon as you are eligible to vote, you can register to vote and then turn around and vote that same day. And it's perfectly fine, perfectly legal. So, again, check to see if your state does see if your state does participate in same day voter registration so you could go vote. Check that out. And if not, see what it takes to get that as a ballot initiative so it can be passed. So that way, if you want to register to vote and you want to go vote, you know you are good. Case
Hmm.
solved. Case solved.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. If you want something to happen, then first look up to see if other people are already doing it, and then join
Mhm.
them. And if not, try to start it so you can get a ballot initiative passed to have same day voter registration, which
Yes.
is amazing. Because there's always going to be that super AF last minute person who decides, they wake up on the Tuesday of election day, go to work, is just chilling, and then, like, I don't know, the girl they have a crush on comes to work with the I voted sticker, and now he's like, oh, snap, let me go vote. I don't know, like, just some reason,
Yes.
something that inspires him to go vote. But without further ado, you know someone who always votes, who this person who I'm going to introduce, he's actually the reason why your girl votes because he was able to
Rats.
convince her to vote. Like you thought she was voting, but she was not. It was all thanks because she only voted for president. She didn't vote down ballot, so that doesn't really count. So- but this person who I'm about to introduce definitely introduced, like, not only does your girl go down, but she goes down ballot. And without further ado, let me introduce you to the one, the only Toby.
I'm so done. That's actually amazing. Very on theme, on par. What's up, y'all? Thanks for holding it down for like the last 70, almost 80 minutes.
Oh,
Appreciate y'all, and especially
my
y'all in the chat.
stomach hurts.
I'm screaming. Yeah, life lifed pretty suddenly, but we are here.
Oh,
We are here. It looks like there were some
yes.
Olympics related jokes and things in the comments earlier. It's sad to have missed it. Um, pop the balloon as a national sport. I haven't even seen any jokes like that, but that's actually kind of amazing. Like someone has to make a skit ASAP. Oh, I'm so done. Pop the balloon and knock it.
Yeah, no, rest of
Jesus is
election day
serious. God, that needs
should
to come
definitely
back.
be a holiday.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would not be opposed to it. That's a free day off. Absolutely. Get paid for it too. Absolutely. Why not? Get paid
Hmm.
to go vote. Yes.
I know in Texas, they like it is illegal for your employer to not make you vote. Like you have the right to vote.
Oh,
I know that about Texas.
Mhm.
Um, not sure about other states. um, I,
Yeah.
yeah, and also a lot of states or a lot of areas in a lot of states have early voting.
Hmm.
I always early vote. That's one of the only things that I do early in my life. So, I like it because there's usually like never any lines, and you can just go in and out.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I know. I know. I know. In Michigan, we have the absentee mail-in ballot.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that, and even then, like I've said this before too, like we even when we were living out in Colorado, like they've been doing that, like vote by mail, and it was phenomenal. It was a game changer. Like, wait, you mean to tell me I don't have to wait in long lines? I can actually have my ballot mailed to my house, and I can actually vote, signed, sealed, delivered, and it's going to count. Bet how come Michigan has not done this yet? Move back, and what is Michigan doing? Mail-in ballot voting. Yes,
Hey.
love it. And I have not looked back since then. And even then, um, I do know that every year I get a letter in the mail saying, "Hey, is your address correct? Because if you want to sign up for mail-in voting, absentee voting, you can do so. Just make sure all your everything is good and correct. If so, boom, here you go." And even then, like when I go and register my tags and whatnot in Michigan, they ask me at the DMV, like, "Hey, I registered to vote. Would you like to re-register? Do you want to make sure everything is good and correct? So that way, when it's time to go vote again, you're good." Yes, please make sure that I am registered to vote. Make sure that I can utilize my right to vote because I want to vote. And I want no issues. I don't want to be part of the purge. No, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. Pause. There's a different purge I want to be a part of, but that's a totally different story for a totally different context. But for this one, nah, I don't want to be on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. So again, just check to see what your state offers, and if your state offers absentee mail-in ballot voting, do it. It's not hard. It's probably like the simplest thing you could do for yourself is peace of mind, and you're good.
Um.
Yes.
Uh. Chat. I guess I can ask the question in the chat. I don't know if we asked about this last time, but how do you all feel about, I guess, Biden dropping out and Kamala Harris being the Democratic nominee? Like, I know that there were some people who feel like their vote didn't really matter, or it's like we didn't, like, the Democrats or those registered Democrat didn't really have a chance to vote, you know? So, yeah, I would like to ask you how you all feel. Like, I'm fine with it, I guess, because Florida actually didn't even have not a presidential primary. Apparently, incumbents usually don't. I just recently learned this. So Florida was the only state that did the usual thing, but it was a bit unfortunate and unfair because Biden did say he was only going to serve one term anyway, and then he decided to run again, and it seemed like he was running again for a long time until the debate, and we're trying to push him out after how he performed in the debate. So yeah, just curious of what you guys know, because I'm actually fine with it. I've never disliked Harris. I've always kind of liked her. Um, Everybody in the Yang Gang seemed to really hate her, so I was never really able to just say that, like, hey, I'm actually totally fine with this person. I don't mind.
That's wild, Rocky.
Text you with another guy. Let's stop by the house to check up and see if you voted. They could do that.
Oh.
I mean, if they could do the census, they could check. Well, the census is every 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I know that, of course, I missed a bunch of this conversation, and I still have to fully go back through the one 2 weeks ago. But I actually thought that this, I thought people had shared their thoughts a bit more earlier. I'll take a crack at it. I'll say it's cool. I definitely can see the excitement. I mean, it's funny that people were trying to say like it's kind of like a coup. I mean, I guess because they already voted for the ticket, I feel like it's not that deep. Like, it's one thing if they decide to install random someone you've never heard in your life, or someone who clearly, like, if you decided to put Hillary Clinton back on the ticket or something, that is like, okay, that we are going a little bit wild right now. But like, she was VP, people decided to vote for her the first time. So I mean, yeah, a new primary could have decided who the winner should have been. And of course, there are a lot of people who said that should have happened. There was a lot of pushback against people who said that. And now it's like, well, here we are. I guess the timing works out in Harris's favor for sure, because of just like the enthusiasm, the momentum building now without as much of a chance to sort of crash. But at the same time, there's no guarantee that she couldn't have done it earlier and still been like successful in a proper primary, or even if Biden decided to step aside earlier, shortly after the midterms. I don't know. It could have been very different. I'm just kind of like, okay, this is what they're deciding to do. It's a bit unprecedented. I think the only other president who ran for re-election and ended up dropping was LBJ, and maybe someone else in the century before that. But LBJ like he dropped out before the primary, so that was fine. Like, he decided to run for re-election, and then he was like, never mind. Biden like literally won every single primary. I'm pretty sure. Well, that's not true because the primaries are still happening, which is kind of crazy. I forget that a lot of states have primaries this late. Massachusetts, even in 2020, I had the primary like the first. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember if this was in August or if it was in September. I think it was August, but I still felt like this is really late. What are we really doing right now?
Wait, is it the state primaries, or is it the presidential? Because the presidential primaries are usually like in like March or something.
Oh, actually, no. Yeah, you're right. That was a state primary, but even now, I think what it is that you have congressional and Senate primaries even now, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah. So that's true. That's true.
I guess that's what I meant, like congressional primary. Yeah, that's a better.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like it's basically any kind of state office. Like, the presidential primary has other things on it as well, so it's kind of confusing because you have other things that you can vote for, like maybe certain judges or certain other things, but just not Congress, unless the states decide that congressional. Usually they don't do that because like they want all the kind of media and everything to be separate. But I do think there are some states that may have co-located with other types of primaries. But you know, typically COVID was just weird because a lot of things got moved and ended up making like a ton of Super Tuesdays because pandemic. And so I think that also ended up co-locating with other Senate and other primaries, like Senate and congressional primaries. But Massachusetts was Super Tuesday anyway. I remember that day very well. It was March 3rd because it was the day after my birthday. But it was actually weird now that I'm thinking about it. It really matters for progressive inroads. It must have been the next. I was gonna say I remember getting like sick with this really nasty cold that night, but I think it happened literally late at night after I voted already, which is good because I wanted to write in for Yang. I was like, I don't even care at this point. This man dropped out. I do not care. I did not come this far to like give up. So I went and wrote it for Andrew Yang on the ballot, and then I maybe voted to figure out who else. But okay, back to this topic. So hopefully we don't do this ever again. So that's like my takeaway is that like we don't need to do this again. We should have much more citizen input. We should actually listen to people like, I don't know, people who've been talking about things about like reform, and I don't know, like I guess it's hard because people don't know exactly what direction you want to go in. 75% of Democrats at one point didn't want Biden to be the nominee. but then there wasn't enough of like a push of an alternative. Dean Phillips wasn't really taking that seriously. I mean, he was, but he wasn't. Marianne Williamson definitely wasn't. Neither was RFK Jr. So then it's like, okay, what do people actually want? Like, it was really an issue with donors. So money in politics is kind of the problem. I guess the donors were not going to fund anyone else. They were funding Biden. But when it became clear that Biden couldn't do it, the donors pulled out and were like, just kidding. You need to get out of here. Speaking of someone showing up with a bat, right? Basically what Chuck Schumer did. Well, Chuck Schumer was a good cop. Nancy Pelosi would have shown up with a bat. She was the bad cop. We can do this the hard way type of thing. So I don't know. Things are not great on that end. Personally, I don't really dislike Harris. Like during the primary, I wasn't like, I feel like I kind of bought into like the hype of like, yeah, we outpulled her in her own state, but I never had like a malicious feeling toward her really. I just knew that there was like things that were not going so well on certain management things. And I was shocked when she honestly had to drop out. And I didn't have any malice. In fact, there were people like Michael, like a tatted lawyer, who posted how like she was originally his first choice. I believe she was like, yeah, I supported, Kamala first before I found Yang. There were other people who posted nice things. Scott Santon's, I remember, posted like she had some middle class tax credit type of like monthly stipend for like certain families. I think it was called Lift Act or Lift something. And I remember Scott Santon's posted like when she dropped out, like we really I appreciate you having attention on this issue. Maybe consider, even if I don't know if he made a hard push, because some people were doing the most and were like, yeah, join the Yang Gang. It's like, yo, we shouldn't do this because eventually, if we don't make it, we don't want people being jerks to us. And then of course, Yang ends up dropping out. But in any case, and then we felt it from like either Bernie people or other people.
I didn't even see like tatted lawyers like tweets. I guess because like I don't know if it's like my algorithms or stuff, because he always posts like a lot of like crypto stuff, and so like it probably just haven't really been showing up. So that's pretty interesting that he initially supported Kamala Harris before Yang.
Yeah, I mean that was in the moment when she dropped out that he tweeted. So back when he was still very much a prominent tweeter of Yang was still in the race. This was literally December, like first week of December 2019. And I remember he posted something about like Scott Santon's also like, these are not recent things. Like I have no idea if anyone from the Yang Gang has been posting, and I've been kind of like curious, but also not like super eager to check the subreddit, which I definitely have not followed in years. I think when Ford became the thing, I followed a little bit during the mayoral race. I followed, but I haven't been checking the Reddit. So I'm wondering what people will say. Like, are there people who are like, yeah, I'm Kamala? I mean, Yang did endorse her. I remember.
Yeah.
Seeing that some were just like in the endorsements that came when she became the nominee that weekend. I remember he was there. It was just very different from when Biden was the nominee, and he was like, yeah, I don't support either of these people. And then he also was like talking about like things with the the debate performance. I follow him, but I don't like use Twitter enough to actually see his tweets, and I don't want to get embroiled in any crap. Even if I don't comment, I just don't care to see all the replies and all the stuff. But I think from like a high level, it would be interesting to see like a text feed of what some people are tweeting just out of interest, and then links that people share to like get more information. But I'm very much trying not to like get back in the political. I feel like it's just so sucking in like any conversation, not just politics, but a lot of things on Twitter. So I do enjoy kind of seeing people's thoughts. I don't enjoy seeing all of the conversations and then the spiral that comes from that. But that's also like me kind of having a certain like, I feel like somewhat addictive personality, not with everything, but with certain things for sure. And it's like, I don't even want to be like using this app, but here we are.
Yeah.
All right, I went off on a bit of a tangent.
I mean, it was, that was actually like definitely interesting because, like being in the Yang Gang, like we, like it was just very like Yang and Tulsi, and I honestly didn't really like Tulsi. I figured that because the other, because I can't remember if she was a senator or a governor, but it seemed like the other like people running didn't seem to like her either. And I understand it's like, not everyone needs to like you, but like there's usually like a particular thing of like, can she be trusted? Like, you don't have to be like friends, but like, can she be trusted? Because it's like, is she just gonna like hop over and, like become like independent or like Republican or like, it's like what is she going to do? Because we don't have to like each other, but it's like you got to be, playing on the same team, but I don't know. Because like there's always like that whole thing of, because she kind of always made it seem like, oh, like they're hiding, like not hiding me, but like they're like censoring her or doing anything. And like the DNC, like she seemed to be kind of against it. And it's like, it's okay. I'm not saying you can't speak out against like the DNC or whatever. It just seemed very like she was kind of gearing up to like jump ship if, if like a better opportunity were to come her way, like it was giving like Kristen Cinema vibes a bit. And of course, like I don't know these people. I never met them, so I have no idea. I'm probably just projecting a whole bunch, but it was just like there was just always something that I just felt a little bit off. But I understand that like, people at the Yang Gang definitely wanted like a massive change agent. Like they just went about it like very, I don't know. They didn't go about it very well.
In terms of, are you talking about change agents? They didn't go about things well in terms of, because I know you were mentioning like stuff with Tulsi and stuff with like her being independent, Kirsten Cinema kind of giving the vibes. Are you saying like just like overall doing an autopsy of like Yang, supporting Yang, the campaign, or more like once everything kind of shook out and Biden became president, that people didn't necessarily have the best plan of changing things in terms of like forward party or other? I think I like didn't connect, and that could just be me. But I wanted to get clarity on what you were referring to.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Like, what was that you were saying that the Yang Gang didn't go about it correctly? I was just like listing like different possibilities, but I'll just let you answer directly instead of picking from all that like spiel I gave. Like, what was it that you were saying that they didn't go about the best way of like a change agent?
I mean, because I think it was like they, like of course, like they wanted to be like very like anti-establishment, which I get, I understand it. It was just very like, okay, but what's your strategy? Mind you, I'm like thinking about it from like where I was back in like 2019, 2020. I was very like on the Yang Gang subreddit, like very like, scrolling through new. So I would see like a lot of just like hot garbage, but usually the stuff that would be at the top would just be like, like it would be like good things, but it wasn't really like the crux of the people, so to speak. Because if you're like, downvoting a bunch of like new posts because it says something like, it's like, oh, what does Yang think of reparations, or like how do we get out like the black vote, or how, like, I don't know, like anything that wasn't Trump voters essentially, then it wasn't really like listened to or heard. And so like Yang's phrase was humanity first, and I remember like a million years ago on the Yang the Melanated Council of Yang Twitter group chat that we had with like many more people, like I said that it's like, it just seems like, yeah, they say humanity first, but they really mean like my humanity first, meaning like mainly like straight white men. Because like they, in order to get the Democratic nomination, you need the black voters. You do. And they weren't trying to do that. Like at all. Some were, but like they just couldn't do that. Like they were just like, let's appeal to everyone, but they don't really understand when it comes to the US culture of the US culture of like what everyone considers. It's usually the default person, which is straight Christian white male. That's everyone. That includes everybody. It's like when it doesn't. Like you literally need to talk to each individual group, because when you have messaging like, how did it go? Like 80% of women make, or it's like women make 80 cents to a man's dollar. Black women make less than that. It's like, then that's an incorrect statement. Because who is women? Are you talking about white women? Then just say that. Because that doesn't include me. I am a woman. I am also black. I am a black woman. That's a totally different demographic. But when you're saying like, oh, women make this much, and it's like, no, like white women do. That's different, and it's fine to say that. And I do like. I'm sorry if I'm going all over the place, but I'll come back to. I'm trying to go like what I do like about like Kamala Harris, where they're having like white dudes for Kamala Harris, and they're having like their Zoom calls, and they had a white woman for Kamala Harris Zoom call that broke Zoom. There was a black woman for Kamala Harris Zoom call. There was, gay black men, for Kamala Harris Zoom call. Like there's all these different, groups, and people keep thinking like what like the Yang Gang, at least like the culture and the crux of it, from what I experienced, simply on Reddit, which isn't a great place to experience culture. I understand that. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's like that I didn't see it seeping in other facets, and from hearing from other stories about people on the campaign trails, like it's they didn't want to hear from black people. They knew that they needed our vote, but they didn't want to hear from us. But they had all day and all night to listen to Trump supporters or former Trump voters. And I guess it's because Yang said that a Trump vote counts like twice as much or something like that. And it's like what a lot of them were failing to understand is you do not know where this Redditor is even located. You don't even know if this Redditor is telling the truth. Like let's say the Redditor is telling the truth. Okay, where are they located? If they registered from Republican to Democrat in Arkansas, that doesn't help us in the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. But who definitely does help you in the Democratic primary? Black people. Thank you. Because it was the black vote in South Carolina that got Joe Biden elected as in the Democratic primary. But they want to fuss and cry and live in their echo chamber. And it's like, yeah, I get it. I understand. But we were telling you this the entire time. You just kept wanting to shut us up. Because you thought that if we were spoken to, then y'all, by y'all I mean like white men, would just like you guys would just never be heard. When it's just like, it's just like, yeah. Why do you personally believe the black vote is not taken? Because we're black.
Yeah.
Let me stab.
Okay, go for it.
Oh yes, Rocky. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, the real question is this: like, okay, what part of the black vote are you talking about? Are you talking about the Republican side of the black vote? Talking about the Democratic side of the black vote? Or are you talking about like that unforeseen independent black vote? Because there's many different facets when we're talking about this, right? Like most black Republicans, most of them, they tend to be older Christian um, men, and they kind of align with the older Republican set of mind and the Republican train of thought. And so for them, it's easier for them to go talk to other Republicans and support Republican candidates, especially if those candidates align with their views, with their standpoints, this and the third. Now, when you come to the Democrat side of things, that's when things, and especially with the independents too, that's when things get a little dicey, right? Because not only are they going to come out in strong numbers, but they want to make sure, one, what politician is going to align what's best for me and my family and what's for me and my neighborhood, for number one. And number two, is this person going to waste my time and not do anything, or are they really in it because they want to help? And a lot of times, like we'll take Andrew Yang for crying out loud. He put together a little video where he had a couple black guys go out in the city of New York and was literally handing people $1,000, and they were saying like, "Hey, if you vote for Andrew Yang, you know this is what you could get for like, this is what you could get for pretty much a good stretch of time. You know, just make sure you vote for Andrew Yang." And a lot of people, they were more so fascinated with the money versus the actual candidate. And so it's kind of like, okay, who's this Andrew Yang guy? Like, what is he actually doing? Like, I really don't see him out there as much. And when you do see him out there as much, it was almost kind of like, okay, well, what does he really stand for? Is he doing this and the third? And so it was just that like Elle was saying, it was that really strange disconnect that happened that actually costed him a lot, costed him a whole lot. And so, and then again with the independents, they're just like, you know, we don't care who it is as long as somebody that we can relate to, we're gonna vote, right? So, in the grand scheme of things, because of the fact that, and especially the black voters down south, because of the fact they had to jump through a bunch of loops to actually go out and vote, it does put that pressure on. Okay, if you want me to vote for you, I'm gonna need some credentials. I'm gonna need to see some receipts. I'm gonna need to see something tangible that's going to solidify you as my candidate, as my person, as a person I'm willing to spend XYZ money on because I believe that you can do this. You know, and even then, with some of the people when we were part of the Yang Gang, and a lot of them were like, you know, yeah, he's not producing. Like, if we're sending him all this money and donating to the campaign, how come he's not going into the places where we're telling him, hey, you need to go here, hey, you need to go there? And then again, that's not to say that we haven't had, you know, meetings with Andrew Yang as he was campaigning, and we're telling him, hey, listen, you and your team, this is where This is where you guys need to go, and this is what you guys need to say in order for you to reach Black people. Because if you really want to change the political scheme, if you really want to do something different, you're going to have to go outside your typical norms and have those hard conversations, because they're going to give you the hard truth regardless. They're going to give you the hard truth, and they're going to tell you this is a pill that you're going to have to swallow if you want my vote. Otherwise, get out my house, get out my face, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And again, like Elle was saying too, you look at what happened down in South Carolina. Again, older Black folks, they're like, yeah, we know who Joe Biden is. He's been pretty much good. Why not? Why not vote for him familiar? I mean, even then, again, let's put things in perspective. He was the vice president of Barack Obama. Like, what else can we say that's going to solidify that we want Joe? Because we know he was a good vice president. He could be a good president. Case closed. Case closed. And even then, I mean, Joe, he was a what? He was a senator before he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was in the political sphere for decades.
Yes.
Like I think this is like his 50th year that he's in. It's something like that. So he had massive name recognition in the political sphere. Older people vote, so voting for somebody old didn't really bother them as much, I'm sure. He had massive name recognition for being Barack Obama's vice president for 8 years. There, like, a white man was okay taking the backseat role of a Black president. That, and especially since Joe Biden wanted to be president like his whole life, that's, that takes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, when you're not in the political sphere, you don't really think politicians are doing anything. Like, you do have to, like, pay attention to see, like, what it is that what they're doing. Like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, I guess it's sort of similar. Like, this is going to be a weird comparison, but it's like similar to, like, you don't know everyone who's employed at your local movie theater, but your local movie theater is running. You know that it exists, but you don't know. That's not that I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm also not saying you should go out and know all the names of everyone who literally works at your local movie theater. But the people who are plugged into the political sphere, which a lot of Black people are, older Black people, like, they are. We're not, like, they're not just like naive and just voting for Biden all willy-nilly. I'm sure, he probably did a lot of campaigning. I'm sure it probably, he had a team. Like, his campaign manager was a Black woman. As was Bernie Sanders. I know that. So, like, she probably knew how to, talk to, how to, get Black people to vote for him, because she knew that this is how you win. And that's important. Like, Andrew Yang's campaign manager was a young white guy. There wasn't anything, like, wrong with him. That's not why, like, he lost, but like, I'm sure that if there was, like, more Black people, especially, like, like, if, like, Erica Rhodes, for example, like, our friend here on part of the Melanated Council, like, if she were his campaign manager, I guarantee you it would have gone a whole lot different. And like she's never, to my knowledge, I don't think I don't think she's ever been a campaign manager, for But I guarantee you, like with her energy and her way of connecting with people, like she, like it probably would have made a bigger difference.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, and even if like, because I know there was Erica McLeod. She was a
Right.
black woman on this team too as well. And even then, like again, like I said, the conversations that we've had was like, okay, how can we reach out to black voters because it's an uncharted territory, uncharted area, and I'm like, you just have to meet them right where they're at. Like they're you're overcomplicating something that doesn't need to be complicated. You meet them right where they're at. You go to the neighborhoods where they're the hardest impacted, and you just talk to them, have a conversation with them. And at the end of the day, if they like what you're saying, they're going to vote for you. They're going to support with you. And if they don't like what you're saying, they're going to let you know, like, hey, we think you're a cool guy and all, but here's the reasons why we're not going to support you. Here's the reasons why we're not going to do this and the third, blah, 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 blah. Thanks, but no thanks. And even then, just to circle back to Rocky's point, like, yes, for the most part, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, the black vote is so divided to the point where and again, like you were saying, most candidates they don't necessarily have to what we were saying, they don't have to appeal to them and honor a lot of stuff that's written in their campaign. They don't have to because again, it's that much divided. But then again, at the same time, it's like, okay, if you are saying the same thing that this person is saying, but it's pretty much almost copy paste, only that you did switch some words around. It's like there's nothing original about you. And even then, what can you show as far as accomplishments that's going to back you up when the time comes? And even then, we can say this much: Joe Biden, he said that he was going to cancel how many million people as far as like student loan debt goes.
Um,
Got it?
I don't know if it was like fully cancel, but he proposed that like everyone gets $10,000 off of their student loans, and people who've received a Pell Grant would get $20,000 off of their student loans. Pell Grants are usually rewarded or predominantly rewarded to Black people, so that was just like a way to kind of like, I guess, I want to say have it be more appealing to Black people, but like maybe because like I didn't know that until like I read up about that.
Oh
Like,
no, go ahead.
oh yeah, I was gonna say because I received a Pell Grant once. I to this day I have no idea why. I just one day received a Pell Grant from my university while I was still there, and I was like, oh cool. And I was like, oh, this is cool because like that one Pell Grant that I received, it's possible I could get $20,000 off of my student loans. Like Biden has forgiven a whole bunch of student loans, though. I think it's more than any other president. And I'm very stoked and happy for those people, real talk. I wish it, of course, like I wish it was me, but like, hey, whoever can, like, go for it.
Right.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Right.
Ron?
No, and even then, like what I was saying was like he said that that's what he was going to do, and he did it. And even then, when he was saying like he was going to lower the cost of a lot of prescription drugs, including like insulin and things for like diabetes and whatnot. Again, he came through, he did it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that he said that he was going to do that he campaigned on once he got into once he got to the seat of presidency, he followed through on a lot of the stuff that he said that he was going to do. He did it. That's a tough act to follow behind because, again, he gave the results. Like you can't argue that.
Mm. Right, exactly.
Yeah, yes, and again, exactly, and again, because of the fact of the legality of everything. But then again, let's think about it like this. Let's think about it like this too. Now, okay, you got some people who are in Congress who, for whatever reason, they get a paycheck based off of their commitments to a lot of the organizations that they quote unquote support, but they fight against, but they want to not have themselves be aligned. And so it's like, okay, if I can say that I'm not for this company and I think this company is trash, but at the same time I still get some kind of hush hush money during the time of me being in seat, okay, that's fine. That's cool. That's great. I'll do that. And again, to try to go against that will hurt them in the long run. But again, had Biden got everything fully done, and especially with a lot of the secondary institutions like your average colleges or institutions, a lot of the big name colleges that you saw on TV that suddenly over years they're just up and disappeared. And a lot of those kids and families and students who went there trying to get jobs in their respective fields based upon of the degree or certificate that they got, and they go to the job and say, hey, your degree means nothing because we've had students from your program, from your institution, they didn't meet up with what was expected in the real life job. And so now you go back to that college or that institution and you tell them, like, hey, I got screwed. You guys told me that you're going to teach me all the skills, all the tricks, all the trades that I need in order for me to be job ready. The job that I just interviewed just told me that you guys do a poor job. How can I get my loans forgiven? Because I just wasted tens of thousands of dollars at an institution that ill prepared me for the real world job experience. And they say, I can't help you. Okay, cool. Don't worry. I'll call the Department of Education. Let me see if they can help. And they told them, hey, we can't help you. There's nothing that we can do for you. What do you mean? I pretty much just got scammed out of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, I wholeheartedly went in with the idea of, hey, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this degree, I'm going to get the certificate, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, just so I could get ahead in life, only to be told that whatever I got means nothing. So all the hard work that I put in for months, for years on end, the end result says I get nothing out of that. That's damaging. That's hurtful. Like, where can I get help at? What can I do to alleviate this? Because that's not right. And it took years for that to even remotely happen. Years. I mean, even the college that I went to, ITT Tech, to go for criminal justice, that one got shut down. But then again, it was a highly reputable institution for people to go to. I mean, my dad graduated from ITT Tech with his electrician certification.
Hmm.
Again, highly reputable, highly reputable. They had a campus pretty much. I know here in Michigan, they had at least two. At least two. And that's not to say they didn't have any more, across the United States that were pretty much doing the same thing and were opening up doors and opportunities. Because again, it was a technical college. It was more so for like computers and electronics. Then they opened up to like everything else, like criminal justice, pharmacy technician, massage therapy, graphic design. Like it was a lot because they were preparing people for the future before it even got here. And so they had courses dictating to what the demands were going to be in the future. But again, because of whatever happened, whether it's funding, whether it's a drop in student enrollment, they closed their campuses, they closed their doors. And yet a lot of people who went there, had they not been, yes, yes, and again, you go and try to get into ITT Tech, it's not existent. It's
Yeah.
nowhere. It's like a ghost not to be found. But and again, that was one of like I said before, that was one of the schools I went to, and that one they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna just no, they weren't. That's the thing. They really weren't. Like they were legitimately wanting to set people up for success. And they were putting people up for success in a lot of the high tier paying jobs. Like they also had one for cybersecurity.
Mm.
They were getting a program up and running. They were getting a program up and running for cybersecurity because they knew that with this next digital age, a lot of things are going to be digitalized. So, like, okay, we're going to train people of how to be cybersecurity officers and work for major tech companies. So at least that way they got a foot in the door and they're going to be good. And for whatever reason, it didn't pan out. So it just sucks that, again, for some people who are going to school and who went to school to places like ITT Tech and other vocational schools who wanted to get ahead in life, and they just like, yep, no, we got the short end of the stick. And be told, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. Like, what do you mean? That's my rant. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's true.
No, I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like, I remember ITT Tech from a long time ago, commercials when I was a kid, and I was like, I want to go there. I didn't even know what happened to it until, like, I feel like recent years when I realized they were the subject of some of the same, like, litigation that basically, like, Corinthian College or all these other schools you would hear about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, when did that happen? Because I don't know. I guess I just forgot to, like, check when I got older. But, yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah, no, because
they seem to be legit. I mean, there were real commercials. There was apparently Bow Wow, was it Bow Wow or someone apparently was doing there's like a rap commercial that I just found about this like recently, like last month. There was some artist who had like some commercial for some college, and apparently it was a very popular thing back like a lot of people were in middle school, elementary school. I mean, high school, of course, too, but like, and that was like back in the 2000s, and I don't remember who that was either. But I was like, wow, I didn't even know about this college, but apparently, it came up. I don't know if it came up. I forget what the context was that I saw this online, but maybe someone was talking about a versus battle, or it was like this is gonna get brought up. I don't know, but I was like, wow, so there are all types of shady. I mean, IT Tech may not have been shady back then, but all types of colleges that are being promoted and now they're gone. So
yeah.
But anyways, just like a random flash of like memories.
I know that Serena Williams went to the Fort Lauderdale Art Institute of Technology down here. It's a random fun
Nice.
fact. Yeah. Like
Very
I
nice.
knew I knew like a few people who went to the art institute. I know that one of them was like it just seemed like a fake college. Like it just seemed like not really official. It seemed pretty fake. Yeah, good news. Hey, good luck. Good luck with the good news.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing about it once you're, ready to share.
Yes.
Mhm.
Congrats. Good luck. Definitely.
Yeah,
Get some good sleep.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh yeah. I love it. I love it. So I know time is drawing nigh, and I know like Chad, I
Mm-hmm.
may have to I may have to go visit the bedroom myself. But
Yeah, yeah.
but there was there was one thing I was reading about, um, which actually prompted me as far as this title goes. Um, two articles actually. It was one that was saying that Trump he actually owes a lot of money to the venues that he had once campaigned in. And he had
Mm-hmm.
not settled the bill, and
Mhm.
so a lot of support that he had was slowly away. Crap, I can't talk right now. Slowly dwindling away. Okay, and a lot of these places were the key battleground states that he won, like Wisconsin, Arizona, parts of Texas. I think Chad's some parts of Pennsylvania, where Trump, won handily in some areas. But that too, I read some articles about that too, where the Republican Party itself is wanting to split away from Trump because of his extreme views, because just the way how he carries himself does not align with the actual traditional Republican Party platform. It does not
Mm-hmm.
align
Right.
whatsoever. It doesn't align. So you're seeing the Republican Party pretty much imploding on itself. All at the same time, you also see Kamala Harris with her vice president pick. Like a lot of the places where um,
Biden
Biden
was.
was kind of like doing okay in, and he kind of won. She's actually not that far behind him as far as polling wise go. And even then, like if the election were to take place like right here, right now, Kamala Harris would actually win, but not necessarily with a pretty wide margin.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be just enough for her to get in the White House and keep Trump out. And so
Mm-hmm.
you have that. You also have that he's kind of like doubling down on his vice president pick, which is been seen as very alarming to the Republican Party. As if it's like, okay, you got JD just to be there, but you're not necessarily like actively showing your support to him, for
Right.
him. And even then, he's been doing and saying some very questionable stuff that has people in the Republican Party like, did we make a big mistake? And did we just screw ourselves in the foot. Oh, yes. Yes, that too. And even then, like, there's a lot of old interviews that Vance had that he said, Trump, no. Like,
Mhm.
nobody in their right mind, number one, should vote for Trump. Nobody in their right mind should even support him. And for three, like, no, he's not what the party needs. He's not what he's not what the country needs right now. If anything, he's going to destroy this country. And you fast forward, here he is, the person who he was bad mouthing is his running mate. So it's kind of like, yeah, your interviews as of right now, they're not aging well whatsoever. So there's a lot that's going on, a whole lot. But even still, then, between now and November, anything could literally happen to the point where Kamala would actually be okay. Will actually be okay winning the presidency. It's like, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Why not? And then I also like the idea. I'll say this, and I'll shut up for a little bit. The fact of the matter that Tim Walz wants free lunch, free breakfast in all the schools across America, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. That should have been done ages ago. Should have been done ages ago. Where it doesn't matter if you qualify or not. Like, no, if your child wants to eat breakfast at school, it's there. If your child decides he or she wants to eat lunch at school, it's there. It's not going to hurt anybody because, again, most children who come to school, they don't necessarily eat breakfast before they come to school. Some of them most definitely don't even have breakfast at home because they don't have food at home to actually get them to school. And it shows that the attention span drops, a lot of the negative behaviors, I should say, do increase. And it's all because of the fact that they don't get a lot of stuff at home. And so they're pretty much scraping by. But if you give them the needs and the resources to be able to succeed in the tools, let them have it. I mean, isn't that what the Black Panthers did back in the day? They saw like, hey, our kids, they were needing food and they couldn't get it at school, they couldn't get it at home. So we're gonna make sure that before they go to school, they get a hot breakfast. That they're going to be good, and hopefully they'll be good until lunchtime. Once lunchtime hits, if they get lunch at school, cool, great. If not, we'll make them lunch. No big deal, because we want our kids to not only live their best, but to be their best. If they're wanting to be their best, it has to be on a full stomach. And parents don't need to worry about, trying to scrounge up money to get something so they can have something food. I'm done.
Yeah, and I know that conversation has been. There's been some hot topics with Waltz and that whole VP pick. I agree, like those food lunches. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just like no brainers. Maybe there were like some things that could be seen as a little more controversial, and I guess you could always examine if it's worth. I don't know. I mean, because you don't want to because I mean, it's hard because you don't necessarily want to just listen to like the most fringe voices, but it's also like, is it just smart politically to do the things that are going to be broadly accepted and things that are maybe a little more controversial, like undocumented immigrants having a license, which honestly though is actually something that is supported by many officials, like even law enforcement officials. I have to look that up because I want to make sure I'm not lying, but I'm pretty sure even in Massachusetts that amendment passed very narrowly. Like it was probably the narrowest amendment that passed in 2022 to have undocumented immigrants be able to drive. Massachusetts is an extremely blue state. So it's kind of interesting when you kind of see how the margin was so tight, and it's like an issue like that is a bit more difficult to talk about and defend. Not saying that's wrong, but I'm wondering like just the politics of it. People would love you regardless with like the free food, the lunches, making sure other things are good in the state. And then do you just kind of hold off on the other issues? Do you go full steam? I mean, if you truly believe it, then that's what you're going to do. I guess it's a little bit less calculating. Anyway, just random thoughts because I'm still learning more about him. And generally, I think he's done like a pretty bang up like job, like a pretty good job with what he's done. But also, it's been all pretty recent because he just got a majority in 2023. So you could say that the effects haven't fully been seen. But I don't know. Now, yeah, the stuff with this, I know you were just talking about the whole like party split and Civil War stuff. I'm definitely going to have to look more at that just on my own because it is interesting to see sort of the criticism that's been there, but I don't know if it's as big of a split. 2016 was a pretty huge split where Trump said some bad comments. People were like, we can't support this man. And then didn't really matter because he won. And then everyone's like, oh, just kidding, except a few anti-Trumpers, never Trumpers, whatever. So I don't know like how much of a split there will be. Maybe if he loses, then it's going to be for real because now Trump is going to be more relevant relatively. J.D. Vance would, I guess, still be in the Senate because he won't resign unless he wins. So I guess you still have some leaders. You still have Vivek Ramaswamy. You still have a bunch of people, but I just wonder how much the influence will be. Maybe there will be a stronger split if he loses because it's like, okay, now we know we're done with this man, and I don't know who is because Mike Pence is not going to be the next Trump. So it's like, okay, who really is the standard bearer? So I don't know because even Ron DeSantis, I mean, he kind of has it, but not really. He was seen a bit differently. So I don't know if he would exactly be the MAGA alternative, but in any case, that's like a post 2024 question, but. What Gil's comments, what you were saying, made me start to think about that. Fancy's me down with the RDC. Okay, but anyway, that's enough for me. I know I don't want to drag things out too late.
Yeah, but I am enjoying how the polls are looking right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everybody tell everyone that you know to vote down ballot, not just for the president. Research everything that's on your ballot. A good place to go is vote411.org. They like you put in your address, and I think you can like pick your party or not, depending on the election, and you can read what every candidate says about a particular like ballot measure or like topic, a policy or things like that. So I highly recommend, that's a great place to just do some quick research. Maybe try to find any like YouTube videos about your candidate. Or the people who are running. So yeah, definitely go and look that up.
Yes.
But unfortunately, not only are we pro going down ballot, we are about to go down for sleep. It is 11:28 here on the East Coast. 11:29 now, according to my Mac. And yeah, tomorrow we got work. It's going to be especially rough for me because I've been off since last Thursday. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday, then Monday, Tuesday. There's just been a whole bunch of craziness going on in my life, as I know you two definitely know. So I was like, I need more days off. So it's nice to have unlimited PTO for that. So,
I know that's right.
yeah. Like there's people who are like, oh, it's kind of nice to get paid out of your PTO. I'm like, I don't even care at this point. Like I like I enjoy my time off because that's that's time I can never get back. But thank you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much, for hanging out. We love y'all. We say this every stream, but we're not lying. Because without y'all, we would just be boring. We'd be a very boring group of people. I shared our Discord link in the chat below. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. You guys are absolutely amazing, and see you all in 2 weeks, which I don't know if it's still August. Yeah, it should be because it'll be the 27th. Yeah. 27th. Yeah. Oh, because I think the last stream was still in July.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last stream. Yeah, because this is like the latest possible that you could have a stream on the 13th of a month. Yeah, well, the 14th, I guess. Yeah, the latest possible you could have a stream would be on the 14th. I should say as the first stream. So that's why it's like, yeah, we were only getting 2 this month, and it's like it does feel like we've already had one in August, but now it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because it was like end of July. We're still kind of like talking about nearly the same topic, but that's because there's just so much craziness going on.
Yes.
Yeah. No, for real.
It's like, think about like, we didn't know who Kamala Harris's running mate was going to be.
True.
And now we do. Yeah. And then after that, we're going to, next episode, next stream, we're going to know about the DNC conference and how that's going to go. Of course, there's always rumors that say like Beyonce and Taylor Swift are going to perform.
Oh,
who knows? I doubt it, but I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? I would definitely get a whole heap of people to come out and vote. I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, thank you all so much for joining us, of course. And we will see you all later on in August in exactly 2 weeks.
Yay. 2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks.
See y'all. 2-7. Gosh, those effects.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.